Welcome everybody to PATCHCAST. In this video, we're going to be ranking all of the mid laners in patch 26.16 from OP to D tier. And there's been quite a bit of changes this patch because Riot's decided that they want to change the magic resist on AD carries, many items changes, and this is of course going to affect the mid lane meta quite a bit. Now, the previous patch was pretty whatever, right? There weren't too many changes, so the meta's been quite still. Is this going to shake up the meta? We're going to figure that out during this tier list review. So, AJ, first thing I want to do is reflect a little bit upon the previous meta, because we had a pretty still meta, but a pretty defining one as well. And we're just going to start at the top. Syndra, how have you been liking Syndra?
Well, at least I have another group of people who hate Syndra, and that's the bot laners now. So I got another group joining my ranks here. But yeah, in mid and bot, she's just ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
She's definitely the best champ on the patch.
Yeah.
Now the fact that you can flex a bot, it makes it even better. You know, the fact that a lot of people are playing in bot.
Yeah.
It's the best champ, I think, on the entire patch.
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting because when I made my climbs to Challenger last year and earlier this year, what happens is that every single time I got out the field on bot, I would pick Syndra bot already. And I've experienced firsthand what this champion does to AD carry players. They just don't know how to deal with the Syndra. They don't understand how the E works. They don't understand that they have to force all-ins, but they don't understand how to do it. It's just an unfair battle in that regard. So I even beat just top tier challenger AD carry players because of my better understanding of the champion. And I was just champ gapping them, basically. Not like that I'm better on the role, absolutely not. But I was just playing Syndra. And it worked. Right. So yeah, this champ after recent buffs is completely OP. And I really appreciate Riot for not nerfing her just yet. And I actually think that Riot did one of the best things that they could have done, which basically means that they, just as a high level thing that they did, is they gave all the marksman champions +3 base MR, okay? This is to not incentivize AD carries from picking mages on bot, because this is of course going to massively increase their trading power and all-inning power near the game, because 3 MR, it adds up, you know? There's a lot of combos, also with supports. A lot of support champions are AP heavy and they deal AP-oriented damage. Think of Zyra, Alistar, right? This is all AP damage, and this is all going to be reduced. Even though it's just fractions of the damage, it adds up over time. And I definitely think that this will kill Magebot for the most part at the highest level of play. What do you think of it?
Yeah, so I think what we've got is this weird dance between all the roles, right? Besides top, I'd say the 4 roles kind of have this weird dance where it's it started with Camille support, right? So because you have Camille support, now you need something that could be on its own, right? And so people started with Ziggs and Mel, and then they realized, wait a minute, you could do some more champs. So then you saw Shen countering Camille, you saw mages countering mages. And so it's kind of created this situation in mid. Well, we're affected by what is your ADC picking, but also what is your support picking, right? There's so much chaos going on in these games. I know you haven't played much solo queue in the last 2 weeks, but I'm gonna be honest, it's been pretty miserable being a mid laner in solo queue recently, right? In mid game, you've got Ziggs and Mel's and Vel'Koz just spamming shit over and over again before a fight starts. And then in lane, you have to deal with you're playing a 2v2 lane, honestly, right? The support comes mid now more than the ADC. So what ends up happening is the mid is literally lower level than the ADC right now on the previous patch. And so I think in terms of reflecting on the meta, I think the champions that can kind of thrive and survive in a situation where it's a lot of chaos and you got to pull the trigger and have some playmaking, we're really, really high up there, right?
We see it as well, right? Of course, Syndra's got a little bit of playmaking, but if we go to the tier list, the mid lane, what's the number 1 champion that's doing just... This champion's been incredible for the past few just weeks and patches. Ahri. He's got the escape, he's got the self builds, also got the setup together with the R+E. This champion is next level good, of course. So yeah, let's just talk a little bit more holistically, because we've already touched upon it, right? AD carry MR is going up, +3 base, -2 per level, which basically means that at really high levels, it equalizes. So it's better for just classic marksman, strong in the early game. But there's a bit of a counter that Riot's introduced, with the tier 3 swords getting 2 extra flat magic pen. And this is then purely only for mid laners because they get the quest increase that they get the extra magic pen on the boots, which counters then this from the AD carries. And they actually then deal more damage to the AD carries than they did before once you get those swords. So in the mid to late game. But in the early game, of course, marksman, mid, as well as bot are just going to be stronger. To counter that as well, they slightly nerfed tier 3 mercs. Thank fucking god, really good play. Otherwise, we would have definitely seen Tristana's mid and shit like that. But if we just think holistically about this, what do you think that this is going to do to the mid lane meta in regards to Ionians versus Sorks? Are we going to see AD carry mids? What is Akshan going to do in the early game to these mages that he's not been doing before? What is your thought process here?
Yeah, so there's a lot to unpack, right?
Yeah.
There's also the support quest nerf too, right? Which
let's talk about that one as well. Let's talk about that. So basically, what happens is that there is less damage on turret, as far as I know, and there is more progress on CS.
What this is saying is that the item has a proc, right? Every time you hit someone, it gives you gold, right? So saying on turrets, on champs, it gives you less. But on minions, it gives you more, right? So running around, hitting people randomly across the map is going to give you less relative to just sitting there farming in lane, right? And then the quest progress is the same thing as well, right? So this one's the quest progress, I believe. That's also getting reduced, which means that you're going to get your wards slower. You're going to get your free control wards in a slot slower, which is they're basically undoing the buff they did 2 patches ago to incentivize more melee supports, right? Because we're in the enchanter meta. And then they swung it too much other way, where now the supports don't need to lane. They can roam, hit people, get their quests, get their gold, and they're happy, right? So they're undoing that a little bit. Yeah.
So let's think holistically then, right? Let's start with the big burning question. AD carry mids. Are we going to see them? What do you think?
I think the ones that could already live mid are going to be good, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about these, right? Because we currently have Tristana up in A tier, we've got Corki up in B tier, and we get Akshan up in A tier as well. These are like the prime time AD carry mids. I think the other ones, they're a little bit you know? But let's talk about these. Like, let's see, your favorite is Tristana. What do you think is going to happen to Trist?
Well, I think Trist is already... Yeah, she's already pretty good, right? I'll say she's solid in the right matchups. Just, there's some hard lanes, like Syndra is going to be terrible, Talia is going to be bad, Annie is going to be bad, etc., right? And she's not the most popular mid last patch, but she's getting like 3-way buffed, right? MR, Fleet. I mean, she doesn't have to use Fleet, but she can. Yeah. And the Berserker's buff, right?
Berserkers.
Which can be good on her as well. Yeah. So I think I think Trist, I don't know if it's going to move her up a tier. I think she's still going to be solid, but I'm going to have my radar on her, right? I want to see like how popular is she going to be. Are people going to start picking her a lot more? Because I see like Vladdy picking her a little bit. Some like Latin American pros have been picking into me recently already. So it's like kind of creeping up. So I think like high A, I'd move her up. So she's still within the same tier.
Yeah, she's been getting a lot of these like
a lot of minor buffs
over the past few patches, man. So much small Tristana bumps up. And you got to keep in mind that this 3 MR is a big deal for Trist, right? Because Trist is very snowbally in how she plays the lane. Extremely bad from behind because she can't jump in. Extremely strong the moment she can just jump in and stat check. So beware of the Tristanas, guys. Don't count this champion out. Akshan, probably the biggest beneficiary from these buffs. You think he's S+ immediately?
Because think about it, right? I mean, I know Phantasm's a freak, but that guy's always top 3 with Akshan. And 3 MR, again, on a snowbally champ, right? Same idea as Trist, right? It's just ridiculous. And the Berserker Greaves, which I know he doesn't necessarily go Berserkers.
I don't think he buys those.
I think he goes the healing ones. But yeah, I just think 3 MR is so much. It's like you get hit by 2 spells. It's like inverse of Scorch levels of damage reduction, right? If you view it like that, that's a ridiculous amount of healing over the course of the lane, right? So I don't know. In my opinion, I think I already think he's really good.
Yeah, interesting. Very, very interesting. So you'd say even S+, right? Not even S tier, just S+.
Nah, nah. For solo queue, S+, easy.
All right, I'm gonna go with your I'm going to go with your assessment here, AJ, because I've personally not seen too much Akshan. Like you mentioned, I've been on a small holiday. I've not played too much solo queue. So you're going to make the most accurate assessment here for sure. Final one, Corki and Kog'maw. I want to also touch upon Kog'maw because Kog'maw has, of course, these different modes where he also plays like the AP style. Do you think this is going to like change the Kog'maw artillery mage?
Yeah, so I'm insanely biased to Kog'maw. I played against actually MLA member. I played a scrim. I think they just hit Challenger.
Right.
Today. They played Kog'maw mid into me. I was Rise. That dude, he was one-shotting me with Cog.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, huh?
It was actually crazy. It makes me want to play it. I actually think Kog'Maw mid in the right matchups could be good. I mean, C tier is a fair spot because he's a counter pick, but I think with these buffs, he can be played in more lanes. So I think he might be PT. I would move him up one. I actually do not sleep on Cog with Dusk and Dawn and PTA. That's the build you got to go, in my opinion. Dusk and Dawn, PTA, Shadow Flame. You're like half poke, half like ADC. It actually looks really good.
Yeah.
It makes me want to play it and try it.
Yep. So beware of Kog'Maw mid. I don't like facing Kog'Maw mid. I think it's giga unskilled.
Yeah, it's really unskilled.
Completely unskilled, right? That E spell is like really, you can bait it out, but if good players hold it in the time it lasts, it's pretty hard to dodge.
Yeah.
And then you got the auto attacks where you can't really find all ins with his W's. Yeah, I don't like this mechanic. I think that this champ's fucking really unfun to verse. Very unfun to verse on mid. If you have got the wrong matchups like Rise, where you kind of have to force to run into him, where you have the matches where you're fucking brutal, dude. Brutal. Yeah. All right, great. So final one, Corki, right? I think Corki is definitely one of the weaker ones.
He's the weaker ones.
Yeah, he's the weaker one. So I don't think it's going to change him too much.
Because he likes the mercs. And like the mercs are a net nerf for him, right? For mid.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, so I think Corki probably stays the same here. Maybe even gets he's probably the same. He gets a little bit early in power. That's okay.
Yeah.
Great. I want to recalibrate on a few other champs that immediately stood out to me before we go into any other changes. Locke. I made a bold guess after the previous changes that he would be somewhere in B tier. Where do you think he ended up in the end? What is your assessment?
He's fucking dog shit. I think he's D tier.
You think he's D tier even?
Yeah, I think he's so bad now.
Oh, really? Did I just cut him that much?
Yeah, I think he's so fucking bad.
Oh, and how comes?
Well, I'm a little bit biased to competitive because I've been playing a lot of competitive. So every time I played against a competitive, it was completely useless. And I was playing against good players too, right? Yeah. Because the reason why is that I think if you itemize decently against him, he's like a Collie with less tools, in my opinion, right? Because a Collie has a lot more tools to navigate a fight. Yeah. Locke, you kind of just got to go in there and stat check people, right? You're like the stat check machine. So it goes both ways, right? If you aren't able to stat check, you are literally worthless. Like you literally cannot do anything, right? And so what I noticed is like I've seen a lot more Oris adapt better to Locke. Like they go Roa, right? And now all of a sudden you can't play the game at all, or you buy like an early no magic, you can't play the game. Obviously his W is still really broken. He still has some decent tools, but I don't know. I haven't seen success. That's why. Like I think his kit is good. I just have not seen success after the patch of a single player, pro player, Faker, Chovy. They all have not been doing well with this champion either in pro play.
Let's figure it out. A lot of pros still playing him, maybe because they just like him, you know?
Yeah. Like I do know a 610 is in cooking up some Conqueror build.
Yeah.
That Phantasm installed from him.
Multiple people doing Conk.
But like I think if you go with that build, maybe it's a little bit better, right? Because then now you're getting to that more stat checky nature, right? You go in there with Conqueror, you just stat check people, you run them down, right? Then yeah, sure. I think he can be better, but yeah, I don't know. I just haven't seen that many people have that much success with him after the nerfs.
Right.
Personally. He's just a snowball champ. Like you can see the scores. Like either they go 20-0 or they go 0-20, right?
Yeah, I think that I don't really would say he's D tier from my guess. I think he's playable.
Okay.
I'm happy to argue and put him in C tier, right? Because there are some matchups that seem reasonably hard for him. But matchups that he just kind of gets stat checked by. I think Cassio seems to be pretty hard for him.
Yeah.
What are Rise is probably pretty tricky.
Yeah, Rise is hard. Cassio is really bad. Akali is unplayable as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. Akali looks fucking unplayable indeed. What else is hard? I think Syndra's skill, probably.
Yeah, probably skill.
Yeah.
Yasuo's probably unplayable.
Right.
Riven is definitely unplayable.
Yep. LeBlanc's hard.
LeBlanc's hard. Victor with Roa seems really hard.
Yep.
Or he can just rush Proto Belt, right? He doesn't even need to buy mana item.
Yep.
Like out of all the champs in OP, S, and S, who does he even do well into? I can't even find one
No,
here.
hard to
Ari, I
say.
guess. Like Ari in lane is probably probably a little
Ari
more.
can play the game, dude. Ari can
Yeah,
play.
like
She
he can
can.
just win mid game.
Yeah, she can just play. And Ari is so good at minimizing. Also, if you just use your EW well, then pretty hard for
Yeah,
Locke to actually play the game. I watched some games of Peng playing versus Locke. He seemed to just
yeah,
solve it. He seemed to just win.
right.
Let's put him in C
That's
tier.
CC. Yeah,
Yep.
that's CC.
Let's put him in C tier. And we're just gonna keep an eye on Locke, of course. See how he evolves. Maybe someone's gonna cook up some fucking grasp Locke shit. You know,
Yeah, like anything that can get him to stat check, right? If you can start getting back to the point where you're just fucking running at someone and you're just hitting them in the face, yeah, he's gonna be really OP.
right.
Haven't seen that unless you
All right.
fed though.
Good. What do you think of the design of the champ?
Too much power in the basic spells, not enough
Yeah.
power in the R.
Yeah, I agree.
I know they were. I remember. I actually somebody asked this question to a designer who designed Locke, and they gave an answer. I don't remember what it was. I think they were saying in PBE when they get or like in their test environment when they gave his R too much power, he like would just insta kill an entire team fight, right? And they don't want him to be a team fighting champ, right? They want him to be more of a you run around and kill people.
Yeah.
But I just think that design is like kind of old school, right? Like how many champs nowadays that are assassins do that? Not
Right.
really that many, right?
Right, I see. Yeah, no, I think it's a pretty creative design. I think they need to nail the numbers a little bit, and I do think that a little bit too much power is in his basic kit, and his ult feels just
Really
awkward.
bad.
It just feels awkward.
Yeah.
I played a couple of Lux games, just feels awkward.
Yeah, and that's why he feels so stat checky because his ult's so weak, he needs to be able to just win, just walk
Yeah.
up and beat you.
Yep. Interesting champ. We're gonna keep our eyes
We'll
on
see
him.
how it goes. Yeah.
Okay, Riven mid. Have you seen any Riven mid still?
Well, the best player on our server is a Riven, no 2P. So yeah, I see it. But that's just because he inflates it. He's like top. He's rank 1 every single season, and I think right now he plays a lot of Riven mid still.
Yeah, still looks really good.
So I'm biased to it. Yeah, I played a game against Riven mid. He was 0-3, and the second he got Axiom Arc, I instantly died from full health.
Yeah, you die 100-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's still S tier, huh?
I think she's still ridiculous, yeah.
Okay, great. Let's move on to some other changes. Let's start with Azir. So what are they exactly changing to Azir? They're increasing his Q base damage by 10. And that's it, really.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. So it seems like PTA is currently his best rune page. Have you played some Azir?
I have. He feels, after the bug fix nurse, he definitely feels not too bad. Because I think PTA has been bugged on him for like months, actually. Yeah. So that's why people have been always defaulting lethal tempo. I think with PTA being a little bit better now, not bugged, people have been going it. Feels good. Because I think you go Nashers and you go Dusk and Dawn. It's kind of like that cog thing where you just insta proc PTA. You're feeling pretty happy about that. He still has the similar weaknesses where you're just like, you're kind of sitting duck first 10 minutes as an Azir, right?
Yeah.
Especially in a lot of these meta matchups right now. So I don't know if I want to move him up. 10 base damage on Q is a lot on that spell, but you're not really pressing it that much.
Nah, you're not pressing it. It's too mana hungry, right?
Yeah. So I think we leave him in C. I think C is a very reasonable spot for him right now.
Agreed. Yeah, the only time when this 10 base damage is really going to matter if you're running mana flow, if you can afford to run mana flow, because there's matchups where you can't afford it. So I doubt this is going to be a massive game changer to Azir. Yeah. Placebo buff to get more people to play him, basically.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, let's take a look here. We have more changes to Fleet. Right, Fleet. I think we need to talk about the big boy, Yone. Fleet.
Yep.
What's Fleet going to do to Yone, and is there any other champs that stand out to you?
A lot positively, actually, because recently I've actually been going Fleet a lot more on Yone, and it's felt actually really good. And I think I came to this realization because I actually just looked at lethal tempo like mid to late game. This rune is actually not, you're not proccing it that much. Like, your major keystones give you like 30% attack speed. That's not that much late game, right? Like lethal tempo is actually kind of an early game rune.
Yeah.
But Fleet is just better early game. And then Fleet actually is more useful later into the game as well, in my opinion. So I personally think that, I think lethal tempo is just really, really good on him. Or Fleet is really, really good on him. Is this for jungle? I think you have jungle as ticked.
Why the fuck is jungle ticked? Very interesting. What is this?
Conquerors with the fan dancer build that I was going before. So that's obviously a really good build. But yeah, I think just for Yone, the key is you need to just get out of the first 15 minutes. So yeah, getting that Fleet extra healing is going to feel really, really nice. I think the Berserker's 5% attack speed is going to feel really good. It means you don't need lethal tempo as much.
Mm-hmm.
Fleet allows you to go depot, which is a really, really OP item, actually, on him. So you don't have to go D-shield as much when you have fleet.
Yeah.
So I've been kind of doing this pairing where I'm going like depot plus fleet, into Bork with Berserkers. Feels really good. Feels really, really good.
Honestly, that makes me want to try Yone, dude.
It feels good. Yeah.
I'm gonna put some Yone games in. So, what do you
I
think?
actually think he's slowly crawling his way back from the bottom of. He was D at one point, right?
Yeah,
He's
it was
slowly
bad.
crawling his way. Now it's interesting because some of the AC mids do really well into him, like really well. So we'll see how that balance goes, right? How are the AC mids gonna fare? Because he's playing against Tristana with PTA, not gonna have a good time. So I'm not ready to put him in A quite yet.
Yeah.
But I think top of B. Like I actually think he's starting to get to the point where you're like, I can start recommending Master Plus again to play Yone.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, like you should actually try Yone with Fleet, get your depot going. You're pretty happy.
Yeah, love that. I think that's solid. Let's see. Any other big changes? We have Cleaver, Hill of Blades.
Ekko Hillblades.
I think that we need to talk about Ekko Hill of Blades. I'm kind of happy that they nerf Hill of Blades. They're giving it a little bit more damage, but it's quite minimal. Honestly, if you look at the numbers, it's not too crazy of damage increase. It's actually lower
early game. It's not a lot worse. It's just a way weaker in early game. Better scaling. That's what basically what the trade off is. Kind of better scaling.
And attack speed is 90 for melees.
90 for melee.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna hurt Ekko, because what Ekko can do, right? He had the option to just E onto your face, and then if you played really well, you could deny like the third auto attack.
It's hard though.
It's
spacing
hard.
has to be really good, and your clicks have to be. You got to be like either low ping or spamming it. Yeah.
Doable, but hard.
This helps.
And this is gonna break it. I think that this attack speed change makes it. If you have like some form of a reaction time that is like better than average, you're going to be able to prevent Ekko from getting just full E into Hill of Blades Pro. And that's going to make some mage matchups a lot easier because he's losing options. And it's not that a lot of high-level Ekko players exactly would do that all the time, where they just jump onto you with just E. But the option is there, and it threatens you, and it changes the way that you play the lane. So I'm happy that they changed this. I think Ekko was low-key unskilled, so nice. The real question is this going to remove him out of S?
I think he's really freaking good with Duskend on. Like he's really good.
Yeah,
and he's good until a lot of these other assassin champs.
Yeah,
that's a tough one, man. I'm gonna go. I'm like in between high A, low S right now.
The thing is, right? I think at the highest level, it's actually gonna make a decent difference. Yeah, because I think that's where you can kind of try to abuse him in the lane a little bit more now, and this is where they hit him. So it might just be that Ekko is still just good as fuck, because he's still a really good scaler, of course. But once he gets Shadow Flame, Duskend on, he's really good. I'd argue he's probably still S tier, but he's just worse now.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, he's probably still good. Let's take a look if there's any other big changes that stand out to us. I don't really think that there is any crazy changes here that we've not covered. Let's just talk holistically about the meta right now. What are we going to expect, right? Less roaming supports? Do you think it's going to hit them enough?
Yeah, I think, well, it's not that there's going to be less roaming supports. It's going to be less, you are playing bot lane in mid now, right?
Right.
Like, there'll be still a lot of supports roaming, but it's not going to be them literally living in mid, right?
Right.
Which helps a lot of champs that have low agency early into the game, right? And for solo queues specifically, right? Like your Oris and your Victors, your Azirs are going to have a way happier time laning early game now.
Yep. So if you look at the top ranks here, like the OP, S plus, and S tier, do you think this all makes sense? Do you think these champs will not get affected too much by the changes? Even if AD carries would come mid, how would this affect these champions? To me, it looks pretty solid, honestly. I think these champs are just fucking powerful, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing is we could even argue Cassio back into OP, because she counters the ADCs, and she's also just really good against every other champ on this list, right?
Bro, fuck Cassiopea, man. I'm telling you, that champ is so unskilled, actually.
Yeah, with the Deathfire, it's really unskilled.
It's so unskilled, actually. I would reckon she's indeed OP. And these Cassio players, they evolve, What they do is they ban the counters. They let their AD carry ban Syndra, and then they ban the Orianna in high elo, and then there's just Where's the counter player? This is not any counters.
Yeah.
I don't like Cassio. I think the current design of Cassio is stupid. I think Conqueror was fine on her. I think that made her actually have a pretty decent identity. Right now, I think she's don't like her.
Anytime where you could just land Q and not even land E and you lose your health bar is not good design, right? I remember there was like a Comet Q Max Cassio back in the day, and that was like really fucking toxic to play against. Like with the Deathfire, just Q alone is doing like so much damage with Scorch, right?
And the problem is that it's a 3.5 second cooldown, right?
Yeah.
On that spell.
It's undodgeable. It's against a good player, it's almost undodgeable as well.
It's higher range than Syndra Q, that spell. By the way. Right. Let's fact check that before I'm like gaslighting everyone in the chat here. Yeah. Target range 850, effect radius 200.
Just 1050 pretty much is the max range.
Yeah, knew it. I smell that shit.
Totally bigger. Yeah.
I smell that shit because whenever I play Syndra, I'm like, wow, that Q hit me. When I play with Cassio, wow, she has the range. It's just slightly longer range.
3 second cooldown that does 75 damage plus a proc Deathfire touch. So
Crazy,
Deathfire touch adding like so much damage. Yeah.
Yeah, very toxic. Very toxic. Aurora. Let's think about Aurora. What do you think?
I think she's still amazing. I still been having a good time with her. A lot of agency, a lot of playmaking, high wave clear, right? Doesn't really have bad matchups, to be honest. I don't know. I think she's just really good, really well rounded.
Yeah, I actually think that Aurora likes kind of what's going on here. Because these tier 3 sword buffs, right? It might seem kind of small, but Aurora is like this, I'm going to 100-0 you or not, right?
Yeah.
So the moment she gets this.
Helps her.
Yeah. So Aurora is going to be... She's going to like this stuff. Same with LeBlanc. I think these two champions actually... They've got this early game power. They're not scared, like super scared of AD carry mids. They can hold their ground. They can scale up the swords and do some mean shit.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. Yeah, so Ryze is still really good. Akali is still amazing, extremely flexible, definitely best assassin in the game. Akshan's now back up here. Riven's still good. Yasuo still has agency. Victor still really strong laner. Struggled a little bit with all of like the giga roams on mid lane. Definitely a little bit harder. I think that Victor has the potential to be S+, if the meta starts shaping up to be a little bit more calm. But for now, we don't think that's necessarily going to happen too much. So keep an eye on what Victor's doing. I think Wei has similar trends. Do you think he's still S tier? Or do you think he's like high A?
I think he's still an amazing champion for mid after all the buffs. I think he's just one of those. He's one of the mages where you need the most amount of help from other people, right? So it can feel some games this way. You feel like you're God doing everything. Other games you're just like you can't do anything, right? That's just kind of the nature of the champ. You do really need other players to set you up, right? Like your whole kit is revolved around someone else's setup. Yeah, I think he's still great. Just that's the kind of style you're opting into when you play him.
Okay, clear. Right, so S tier is still where you would put him.
Yeah. I think I'm still happy with him. It's still good.
Okay, final thing I want to discuss. Ionians versus Sorks.
Yep.
In the past, I think that Ionians were more flexible. Sorks had their place. And a good Sorks game, if you could pair it up with more flat pen, was like very, very, very powerful. But I think these two flat pen changes are quite big. And
it's a lot.
That of course, you got to keep in mind that especially if you're already running more pen, that extra pen adds up even more the lower magic resist that people get. So this is very nice. And especially with other AD carries now getting more MR, is this going to be a requirement for us mid laners to go Sorks over Lucidities? Is this going to be the difference maker? What do you think?
I think so. And the reason why is like, so the Sork buff is a little bit more over a 10% buff, that's a lot, right? In terms of the flat pen. But then not only that, like you said, the more magic pen you have, it gets exponentially better, right? So when someone go like, let's say last patch, right? You had like Shadow Flame Sorks, you hit a squishy, they're probably at like 10 MR effective, right? After all your pen. Now they're at like 8. That doesn't sound like a big change, but that's like 15% more damage or something.
15?
Right? Ridiculous like that.
Really?
That's something ridiculous, right? Going from
let's
like
search
that little
up.
MR. Yeah.
10 versus 8 MR damage. Go.
It's going to be a lot. I know that for sure.
So deal against a 10 MR.
It's only 2%.
But 2% is a lot, dude.
Yeah.
Like
so
I was
exactly
2.5.
But
it's 1.5, about 2%. That's also pretty decent because 1.68 if you add it on all your spells, all your items, all your runes.
Yeah.
It adds up well. So I like that a lot.
It's probably more extra damage the more MR they have, but yeah.
Very nice. Okay, so I think Lucidities. When do we buy Lucidities instead of Sorks? What is going to be your thought process?
I think Lucids are really good when you base and you have exactly enough for Lucids. I think that's when they're really good. And you play like a spammy champ, right? Like play Ori or Talia or something, or like having haste means like you get to set up the field a lot better, right?
Yeah.
I think that's where your CDR boots are going to be really high value way. But if you want to go, if you're like snowballing and you want like a really bursty setup, like you just 100-0 someone, you already got a slight lead. You can get your other magic pen items early to start exponentially scaling that. Then Sorks are gonna be better.
Yeah, so Lucids are still really good in reset heavy matchups, and which that you're gonna need the move speed to dodge out on spells and get early control of the wave. So like very fast play style. Definitely Lucidity is still really good. Don't undersell these boots. But if you want a little bit more of that raw carry power, then Sorks is definitely going to be better. So keep that in mind, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Any final things you want to mention or change from this tier list, AJ?
Nah, looks solid to me. We're just going to see what happens with all these changes.
Okay, great. So if you could give Riot one piece of advice to shake up the meta a little bit more, right? Because let's be honest here. It's been like the same old shit for like, I don't know how many months now. What would you do?
So, okay, so my high level goal would be try to get some of these artillery mages at home and mid, right? At the highest level play, right? I want to see more Ziggs and Lux and Vel'Koz and Xerath in mid somehow, without them overtaking bot. Now, how would they would do that? Not sure. Maybe give them a lot more level scaling, right? Maybe give them a little bit more durability or HP level scaling. I don't know, right? But that's what I want to see. I want to be able to feel happy playing Xerath because I think Xerath's a fucking cool champ, right?
It is pretty cool.
That's really fun. But I can't justify playing him, right? It's like you can't play mid game. Mid game is impossible. So some kind of change to the pace of the game in mid game that can let these mages thrive more in the mid game. That's what I would like to see.
Yeah, I definitely think that the changes that they made earlier this year to the side lane waves, they definitely hurt the likes of the control mages, the area control mages even more. The artillery mages, sorry, they got hit hard, quite hard.
Yeah,
and it's been a continuous trend like that. Like mid lane has just evolved to get lane control, being able to stand your ground, and then the ability to make plays and shove a move and impact the map. Just control is the name of the game.
Yeah, not be able to make plays in high elo as a mid laner feels awful. Like I hate playing Hui and Victor and these chaotic games. If you get a controlled game of these champs, you're happy, but it's not often that happens.
It's not.
So you got to win your lane really hard in order to have impact.
Yeah,
I like it.
So my solution would be to buff Syndra even more.
Let's call it now. Let's cut the tape.
Let's buff Syndra even more because she's not strong enough. Right, Games? You're doing a great job. Keep it up. I can get back into my solo queue and I'll be guaranteed to climb because she's OP.
Oh god.
It sucks that I left on the holiday when she was OP actually. That I missed my biggest chance. This was my chance to break through top 10, but I couldn't. I DK'd.
Nah. Hey, you're smart. You made sure she didn't get nerfed by not playing.
Oh, that's right. I extended the buffs. All right, guys, enough yapping for today. So yeah, both me and AJ were a little bit sick, so to say, today. So maybe the energy was a little bit lower. I hope you guys still enjoyed. I came back from my holidays with a big fucking stomach flu, and AJ had some. Tell him what were you struggling with?
I woke up and I felt like someone was stabbing my ear with a dagger. So I just leave it at that. Right? I'm sure you can imagine what that felt like.
Not pretty.
Didn't have a happy morning. Yeah.
Not pretty, but we showed up here for you guys today. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you enjoyed the tier list, and check out the description for AJ's channels because he's also making some amazing content on YouTube. Very good gameplay, very educational as well, so must watch. Thank you all for watching today. Appreciate y'all, and I'll see you guys in 2 weeks with a new patch. Peace out, guys.